Okay, video 6 of my maths revision mini-series. And today we are featuring in question 1 a question that I was asked to repeat. So it's a divide in a ratio question. I don't know if I should read all these questions out. I always think about doing it and never do it. So perhaps I'll start with that. I just want to say as well while I've got you, I mean, like I say, I've already put question 1 as what someone has asked for, but the next video should be just an algebra revision video because that's something that a year 11 has asked for. So I'm going to do that in tomorrow's video is the plan. So again, if you want any specific question repeating or specific topic, just let me know. I didn't know whether to do a whole video on ratio for this one, but I've actually just looked at the question that the student said they got a bit mixed up on or didn't know how to do, and just done a similar question to that. So again, if you want that video again, let me know. Question again, sorry, let me know. Otherwise, I'm probably just going to keep picking random stuff, because you can always go back and reattempt the questions at a later date, can't you, to kind of refresh your memory. So anyway, I'll read the questions and then I'll reveal the answers. So first question says to divide 55 in the ratio 5 to 6. Now that is a 2-mark question. I don't know why that little 1 mark has been left in the corner. Question 2 says to solve the inequality. It doesn't say the inequality, but solve 3x plus 5 is less than 20. That's a 2-mark question. Question 3 says to work out the area of the triangle. 2 marks. Question 4, you will need a calculator for its trigonometry. It says here is a right angle triangle. Use trigonometry to work out the value of x. And question 5 says to work out the size of the exterior angle of a regular hexagon. So I'm going to reveal the answers now. If you don't want to see the answers, pause the video. And don't forget, if you're watching on a smaller screen, you can pinch to zoom in and make the questions bigger. Okay. Right, the first question, final answer is 25 to 30. That'll be 2 marks. Question 2, x is less than 5, 2 marks, but you must show you're working out. Question 3, 16 centimeters squared, again, 2 marks, must show you working out. Question 4, something like 5.31709 centimeters. So if you've rounded that to 2 decimal places, that would be 5.32 centimeters. 3 marks for that one. And question 5, it says work out the size of the exterior angle of a regular hexagon. The answer is 60 degrees. So I'm going to dive into how you get all those answers now. So yeah, if you don't know what you're doing on any of them, you can see how to do it. And again, if you got stuck on a particular question or want a certain thing again, let me know and I'll make sure it's featured in a future video. So on this first one, it says to divide 55 into the ratio 5 to 6. So I'd recommend drawing a bar model with 5 on the top, 6 on the bottom. We're then going to add up the boxes. So there's 5 on the top, 6 on the bottom. That's 11 boxes in total. We're going to use that 11 to divide the 55 now. So 55 divided by 11 makes 5. That means each of the boxes is 5. Therefore, on the top, 5 times 5 makes the 25. 5 times 6 makes the 30. So the final answer for 2 marks is 25 to 30. You'll probably get 1 mark for working out that each part is 5. So 5 in each box. And then 2 marks for the final answer. Question 2 then, solving this inequality. So I'm going to use the method with the line down the side. I've just written the question there. So we need to get rid of this plus 5 first. If you think about what's happened to x, it's been times by 3 and added 5. So going backwards, we're going to do the opposite. Take away 5 and divide by 3. So taking away 5 first, we're going to take away 5 from this bit and take away 5 from this bit. So we get 3x is less than 15. Now we need to get rid of this 3. So we're going to divide by 3. We get x is less than 5. And that's the final answer for 2 marks. You'll get 1 mark if 3x is less than 15 is seen, and 2 marks for x is less than 5. Question 3 says to work out the area of the triangle. So the formula for the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. So that's what I've written here. A is area, B is base, H is height. So area equals base times height divided by 2. I'm going to actually do that down here because there's not much space over here. So I've just copied the formula. Area is base times height divided by 2. The base is 8 centimeters. The height is 4 centimeters. So I'm doing 8 times 4 and then dividing it by 2. 8 times 4 makes 32. Half of that is 16, and that's why the final answer to that question is 16 centimeters squared. Question 4 is using trigonometry. So the first thing I'd always do for a trigonometry problem is label the sides. So you won't know this unless you're in year 10 or year 11 at the minute. So probably, I should have mentioned earlier that question 4 and question 5 are really for year 10 and year 11 students at the moment, because year 9 won't have learned the stuff. I mean, you might have covered, you will have covered exterior angles very briefly in year 8, but you've probably forgotten that. So question 4 and question 5 really are for year 10 and year 11 students in my school anyway. So question 4 on trigonometry, first thing I'd always do is label the sides. So hypotenuse is the longest side in the triangle, opposite is opposite the angle that's labelled, and adjacent is next to the angle that's labelled, or some teachers say that's the one that's left. Okay, so I've labelled all the sides. I would then actually write out SOHCAHTOA, and again, you won't know what this means if you've not learned it yet, so don't panic. And I can see this triangle, there's no hypotenuse, we're not using the hypotenuse, but I am using the opposite side and the adjacent side. The opposite side is x, the adjacent side is 10 centimeters. So I'm looking at all of these acronyms, just the sequence of letters, and seeing which one involves an O and an A. So the first one has an O but not an A, this one has an A but not an O, and the last one has an O and an A. So therefore it's going to be this tan ratio. I would circle it if it was me. You'll probably get a mark for identifying that it's the tan ratio that needs to be used, or writing the tan ratio. So I'm going to write the tan ratio now. So it's tan of the angle is the opposite divided by the adjacent. Just for all of these as a quick reminder, it's the sine of the angle is opposite divided by hypotenuse, cos of the angle is adjacent divided by hypotenuse, and tan of the angle is opposite divided by adjacent. So I've written the tan ratio. I'm now going to put in what we've got. So it's tan of the angle. The angle in the problem is 28 degrees. So I've got tan of 28 is, the opposite side in this problem is just x. So I'm going to swap that for x. And the adjacent side is 10. So I'm going to swap a for 10. Now I'm trying to solve this equation. So I want to get x on its own. We need to get rid of this divide by 10. The opposite of dividing by 10 is times in by 10. So what I've actually done first is simplified, and I apologise because I made this a little while ago, that's why I forgot what comes next. So I've actually simplified this next. So I put tan of 28 in my calculator, providing what I've done is right, you should get 0.5317 blah 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 blah, and now doing what I said, getting x on its own. So get rid of this divide by 10, I'm going to times by 10, so if I times this by 10 we get 5.31 blah blah blah, so x equals 5.31709 blah blah blah. It doesn't say to round it in the question, so I just give it to a few decimal places. You can round it if you want to, just make sure on your exam that if you do round it, you say what you have rounded it to. So there's only one final question left, question 5. It says to work out the size of an exterior angle of a regular hexagon. So you need to remember for your exam that exterior angles add up to 360 degrees, just a full term. If it's a hexagon has 6 sides, so we've got to do 360 divided by 6. And 360 divided by 6 is just 60. I would actually do 36 divided by 6 is 6. And then this is 10 times bigger, so the answer will be 10 times bigger. Anyway, there's loads of different ways of doing it. You could do bus stop method if you want to, whatever way you do it. 360 divided by 6 is 60 degrees. That's a 2-mark question. So you'll get 1 mark for your calculation and 1 mark for your answer. So that's the end of this video. If there's anything you want featuring in future videos, please let me know. The next video will be an algebra focused revision video with some algebra topics on it that have come up recently. And the video after that will just be a general one. I've planned that already. So yeah, anything you want featuring in future videos, let me know. Yeah, I hope this was useful, and thank you for watching.